Hello and welcome to yet another super interesting video from DriveSpark. I'm Stephen Neal and this is the Euler HiLoad EV. This is the latest electric cargo three-wheeler in the Indian market and possibly the most advanced yet. And we're here to find out what it is all about. I for one am super excited to take it out for a spin. So let's go three-wheeling. When looked at from a distance, the Euler HiLoad EV looks like, well, a cargo three-wheeler. Well, that's simply because it follows a generic formula of making a cargo three-wheeler, that is having a single-seater compact cabin up front, a single wheel up front, and at the rear you've got the loading bay. However, when you look at the details, you realize that it's not really your normal three-wheeler, your normal cargo three-wheeler. You've got lots of design details on the vehicle. Up front, you will see this black cladding that runs across the entire front fascia. In them is integrated the headlamps, the Euler logo is placed on them. You also got some reflectors on it, and down you've got the bumper and also you've got the black colored mudguard. The vehicle is finished in a shade of white. Now look at the headlamps. So you will notice that this one comes with a projector headlamp. Yes, those are not LEDs, those are halogen units. However, it is a projector unit, and having a projector headlamp on a three-wheeler is a segment first. So kudos to Euler on that end. Now let's talk about the rest of the vehicle. So when you look at it from the side profile, it looks like a normal generic three-wheeler. As I said earlier, the principle, the formula followed is still the same. However, there are slight little cuts and creases, and of course you've got the graphics that set it apart. You've got the HiLoad EV written in bold on the door. Also you've got the electric logo and some graphics to distinguish it from a normal three-wheeler. So this, when you look at it, you will know that it's an electric vehicle. Also, if you have an eye for detail, when you look at the Euler HiLoad EV from the side profile, you will look at a few things. The mechanicals working underneath the body. So sandwiched between the beams of the chassis, you've got all the electricals working. You've got the battery pack, you've got the motor, you've got the gearbox, all working together. So this also is visible from the outside. Also on the left side of the vehicle, you've also got the charging slot. So you've got a normal home charger. Now do keep in mind that this one does not come with an external charger, so it's just a normal cable that connects the 5 amp socket at your house and the Euler HiLoad EV. So it's just a cable that runs between the two. There is no adapter or charger in between. Everything has been integrated into the electric three-wheeler, and that again is a great thing. Placed right next to that socket is another port for you to plug in your DC fast charger. Euler has some chargers installed across the country. So right now they have more than 200 charging stations and are building up that. They're ramping up that number very fast. So you can plug in this electric three-wheeler into one of those fast chargers, and that will give you just enough juice to give you 50 kilometers of range within just 15 minutes of charging. So that again is a great thing on this vehicle. Now let's take a look at the most important aspect of this vehicle, the rear end and the cargo bay. At the rear end, it is a pretty simple affair. So under the load bay, you've got this little pod that houses the indicators, the reverse lights and the tail lamps, and that's pretty much it when it comes to the design. Now let's get to the loading bay. So you've got 4 different variants when it comes to the HiLoad EV. This here is a pickup vehicle configuration. So you've got this pickup truck like bed at the rear, so you can load up a lot of stuff on it. Now all the configurations have a payload capacity, a rated capacity of 688 kilograms. This again is the highest in the segment. Now this here is the open load configuration, so most of it is walled except the upper half, so you can load lots of things in it. So this can be used for various configurations, various loads like probably gas cylinders, water cans, etc. This one currently houses water cans. You can fill it up to the top as well. There are 2 other configurations available. One is a flatbed, so you get nothing but a flatbed at the rear. You can build up whatever you like on that, or you can load that up as well. And then you've got another one called the delivery vehicle, where everything is enclosed, and well, that can be used for perishables or whatever items you want to transport. So these are the configurations available with the HiLoad EV, and well, in terms of design and features, that was it. This being a bare bones vehicle, we shouldn't be expecting much on the inside, but should we? Now, as I was saying earlier, it's a bare basic vehicle. However, in here there are a few things that set it apart from the competition, a few segments first. However, before we get to that, let's talk about the overall layout, how it feels in here. Firstly, it feels bare basic. It feels what you need is here, nothing much, nothing less. So the door, as you can see, it's finished in a bare basic paint job. So you've got the exposed welds, the exposed seams, etc. Now keep in mind that this is a pre-production vehicle. This is not how it will make it to the production line. So when you buy one of this is not how it will come to you. It will be more refined, more finished, more polished, etc. Now this is how you open the window on this, and that's how it locks up. And well, there's nothing much else on the door. So you've got this little lever here on the door that you pull, and that's what opens the door for you. And that is it with the door. Now let's get to what you see when you're sitting in this seat. So you get to see this dashboard. You've got this blacked out element over here that gives a good contrast to the white paint job on the vehicle, on the cabin. And then you've got this handlebar. So you've got this brushed aluminum finish. Actually, it is an industrial aluminum finish. So this has been done on purpose, is what Euler tells us. And then you've got this switch gear here. So it's pretty simple. It's the basics again. You've got the indicator switch, you've got the high and low beam switch, and the horn switch over here. And over here is a little switch that controls the drive modes. Just 3 drive modes that you've got: neutral, you've got reverse, and you've got forwards. And that is it. These are the controls on the vehicle. Also, you get few switches over here. You've got the switches for the hazard lamp, for the parking light, and for the headlamp, as well as the wiper down here integrated into the dashboard. You've got a cubby hole here, and also a lockable storage compartment on the right side. Now you've got this is the most important feature on this vehicle, inside this vehicle at least. So this is a telematics solution. That is a segment feature first. Again, of course, you've got telematics in other competitors as well, but this one has a few features that set it apart. So let's turn it on first of all. So when you turn it on, the first thing it says is sanity checks loading. So well, what that's doing is, yep, now it's ready. Sanity checks loading is basically, it's preparing the systems, checking all sensors, etc. And now the display has turned on. It displays the battery level, it displays the speed, it displays the time, and a lot of other things. Also, when you switch the drive mode, so you switch it to drive and it goes to D on the instrument cluster, and then you switch it to reverse, it goes to reverse, and that there is the reverse sound that this vehicle makes. Also, you have the telltale lights for the indicator and the high beam, etc. on this very instrument console. Now, what sets this apart from the rest is the capacity to have over-the-air updates. So this instrument cluster receives over-the-air updates through a machine-to-machine SIM card that is integrated into the vehicle. It's hidden behind the dashboard, and this allows it to get over-the-air updates for various reasons, for various functions even. You can also get over-the-air updates for other functions like the mapping for the electric motor, so you can map it to produce more power or increase the range, etc. So all this can be done via over-the-air updates. Also, some other features, you've got this phone holder placed right here. So of course, users of this vehicle will need this the most where they're navigating through busy city streets. And then of course, you've got a mobile phone charging socket as well. Now, another thing that sets this apart is this optional accessory. This is an add-on. You've got a music player over here with a USB slot and SD card slot and 2 speakers mounted here. So this is an optional extra. This will have to be paid for. So this is something cool to have in the Euler HiLoad EV. On the whole, it's pretty obvious that there are a few panel gaps here and there. There are a few things that can be improved on this. However, as I said, this is a pre-production vehicle. This will be smoothened out on the production vehicle. So when it's being delivered to you, it will all be fine. And for a vehicle of this stature, or for a vehicle in this segment, well, rugged looks better. And there we go again. 33 kilometers per hour, 35, 36. Okay, it appears I'm having way too much fun on this. I really need to stop. This is a serious review. I am here to test this vehicle. Okay, now let's start from the beginning. Neutral, handbrake on. So there we are inside the Euler HiLoad EV, and what we are doing is we are riding this. We are in Delhi, of course. We are in a bit of a secluded place, not gonna tell you where. And handbrakes off. Gonna turn it into forward or drive. So over here on the switch it says F, which stands for forward, and over there it says D, which stands for drive. As long as both of it does the same thing, we're good. And I'm full throttle there, and I'm already at 20, 25, 30. I just can't stop grinning. This thing is seriously fun. I am having fun in here. 41, 42, 43, and brake. No, stop, please stop. Now I'm carrying about half a load of water cans in the back. Time to talk specs. Now this is powered by a 12.4 kilowatt hour battery. This is an industry first because it's liquid cooled. Of course, the battery capacity is also very high on this compared to other similar vehicles in the market. Now other vehicles in the market have battery capacities of nearly about 8 kilowatt hours. This one is at 12.4 kilowatt hours, so there it's a win already. And then you've got the liquid cooling technology. So this has liquid cooling for its batteries, which means that the battery is kept at optimum operating temperatures, which is about 25 degrees Celsius, and that also means longevity of battery, and also you get good power delivery in all circumstances. The battery sends power to a 10.98 kilowatt motor, so that is a peak rated power of this motor that powers the Euler HiLoad EV. Also, another thing that is more than sufficient on the Euler HiLoad EV is the torque. It produces 88 Nm of torque, and that is pretty good, so that should be more than enough for the loads that this thing is built to carry. Speaking of loads, it's built to carry, it's rated at 688 kilograms, which again is the highest in the segment. So there is no other EV, three-wheeler EV out there that can carry this much load. This is the rated load, mind you. In reality, it can carry much more. Again, that depends on the usage pattern. So well, all in all, specs wise, technology wise, it's right up there. It's very good. Bad roads aren't really the Euler HiLoad EV's forte. Neither is it the forte of other similar vehicles, because these are meant to carry loads and not just keep the occupant in comfort. So it does manage to carry a decent amount of load, and the ride quality only gets better with the load that's in the rear. So if you're taking this vehicle with an empty load, all the best. Now we need adequate brakes also, and there is an industry first from Euler in that segment also when it comes to the braking. So braking prowess has definitely increased with the addition of the disc brake up front. It's a 200mm disc brake that has been added to the front of this vehicle, so the front wheel is braked by that disc brake, and the rear, well, you get drum brakes as usual. So well, usually we find drum brakes on such vehicles. This time with the addition of the disc brake, there is a little complication in the mechanism, because well, the disc has to work in sync with the drum, and there is a little loss of braking prowess. That definitely could have been better, but on the whole, well, this is an experience you should definitely try. I'm sure every one of us has used a three-wheeler before to carry whatever sort of load. However, if you haven't ridden one, if you haven't taken out one for a spin, well, I suggest you should definitely do it. It will make you rethink the way you ride scooter. It does look like you're riding a scooter, except that, well, it feels so much more involving, so to say, and well, it's a brilliant experience taking this one out for a spin.